Welcome to Shelley's Way. Now, I have decided that professionals all around the world don't look after their well-being good enough. And this is a measurable thing. So I have decided that we can all score our emotional energy out of 10. And my question to you is right now, like you're a professional, otherwise you wouldn't be watching this, and you work long hours or you put your guts into what you do. And my question to you is, what is your emotional energy score right now out of 10? 10 out of 10 is awesome, 0 out of 10 is bad. What is it? Now, I've decided to create a movement, and it's called 8 or more. What I mean by that is our emotional energy levels for professionals, our mission is 8 or more, to be an 8 out of 10 or more for our emotional energy levels. And you're thinking, yeah, right, as if that's going to happen. Because let's face it, so this whole time, what has your emotional energy level been by the end of every day? Give yourself a rough estimate score right now. 3s, 4s, 5s maybe sometimes. Come on, let's think of it. Sometimes you've had a pretty significant chunk of time where it's been like a 2 or even a 1 every day after work. And that's if you finished work, let's face it. And then everything else that you've got to do in your world and look after kids and sick grandparents or, aging people and, getting the medications and booking the car in and trying to get the groceries done and do the cooking and all that kind of stuff. So what is your emotional energy score right now? Now, my challenge to you, and what we're going to be talking about on this channel is specifically how, but I'm going to also be mapping myself and keep myself true to form, is how to maintain or keep bringing yourself back up to an 8 or more out of 10. This is my movement. I've decided that my mission has to be helping professionals get up to an 8 or more out of 10 in their working day or at the end of every working day. So they have enough emotional capacity to work on or be involved in other parts of their life. We should be able to be living our lives with more joy, with more oomph, with more zing, I suppose. In Hotel Transylvania, that's what they talk about, the zing. We should be able to do that as well as be a professional. And right now you might be watching this and thinking that is just completely absurd. And maybe it is, but I'm a professional and so are you, and we work long hours and we give our all. And are you, like me, sick of not having your well-being scores high enough? I'm sick of it. And I've gotten to this part of my life where I'm so sick of it that it's actually time to change something. And you're obviously looking for a change or you wouldn't be here. Now, on this, we will be talking about ways and means about how to do that in little baby steps. So you can't eat the whole elephant at once. We're going to do little baby steps as we go. And I'm going to be keeping myself honest to see how well we go with this. Now, the reason why I've chosen 8 out of 10 or more is because I was watching something about decluttering, I suppose. And part of the thing was about your clothes in your cupboards and your wardrobe and which clothes suit you best, which ones that you like the most. And all of your clothes should be an 8 out of 10 or more, that you feel good in, that they fit well and they look good. 8 out of 10 or more, and you don't do 7s or lower. And it started me thinking, well, if I've done that for my clothes, which I have, then why would we settle for a 7 or lower in terms of our well-being and your emotional energy levels at the end of every day? And what can you do to bring them up to a really high level, which is 8 or more? So this is our movement. Now, when I started to film today, because today was the first day I came up with this concept and went, no, that has to be the mission. This is what happened. I'm having bird space time, and you would not believe this. I have a bird that is sitting on the ledge, not even on the bonnet of my car, pecking at my window. Can Oh my God, there it is. It just flew away. Oh my God. That's got to be a sign about something. Maybe that's telling me I'm on the money about this. Okay, I have decided that the mission for all of us professionals is to be an 8 out of 10 or more in terms of our emotional well-being. Oh my God, it's back. There is a bird. Can you see that? There is a bird. That's twice that's happened. That's got to be a sign for all of us that this is what we're meant to do, I reckon. Okay, 8 out of 10 or more is the mission for all of us professionals that work too much and wear ourselves out and burn ourselves into the ground. I had heaps of work to do and I've just left today because I've always got heaps of work to do. And don't you too? Like, don't you always have a ton of work to do and you just leave yourself empty? Oh my God, there it is. It's back again. There's that. He's back. Look. Can you see him? Each time I move the camera, he flies away. Oh my God, I just can't believe it. That is crazy. You will notice that the second I started to film this to talk about the 8 or more and the things that I was doing in order to make sure my emotional energy level was an 8 or more, a bird came and sat on the ledge of my car, not the bonnet, not somewhere logical that a bird would sit, but on the outer ledge of a window of my car 3 times. 3 times it came and landed there and was pecking at the window. Now, I have seen things in the past which is about signs, and I took that as a really big sign that we are meant to do this. 8 or more, we are looking after our well-being levels. 8 or more. And so here's some things that I have done today in order to do that today, to bring my emotional energy levels back up and not just leave them down low and then keep working. And I realised there was a 4 out of 10 for emotional energy. It's about the middle of the day. And so I thought I'd go and do my wellbeing walk, which is around the ovals out in the sun. I watched something this morning. Oh my God, sorry about that. I watched something this morning which is about the importance of sunlight, and maybe that is the reason why I really do so much better if I walk around my ovals in the sun twice. And I started with an emotional energy level of 4. I got stopped off by one of my teachers and I started to talk about some art things which I love, and that brought me up to a 5 out of 10 in terms of emotional energy. But I'll go on my little well-being walk. I do 2 laps of the oval in the nice sunlight. It's warm enough to not have a coat on so I can photosynthesize, and I'll let you know what my well-being score is when I finish. Well, that's 2 laps and I've gone up to about a 7 out of 10 for emotional energy. I've got some things on my mind, which is maybe why it's not up further. I'm just going to stay out in the sun a little bit longer and see if that improves. Okay, that was only about 2 more minutes in the sun, and now I'm an 8 out of 10 for emotional well-being, which meets our criteria of 8 or more. It's actually time for me to leave, and this is the bit where I normally stick around, and this is where I start to ruin my emotional energy. And so I'm just recording myself as I get out of things on my computer. And sorry, I'm not one of those people who have one of those selfie poles or whatever like that. So I'm just going to, the bit that I never get around to is standing up and actually leaving. So I am packing up my computer now. Can you see that? Shutting that down. And I'm going. Well, I'm in my car now because this is my third space activity. They say that you should use your third space in order to get in touch with your emotions and reset yourself before you go home, to devote that any energy to whatever it is that you want to do when you get home, which sounds virtually impossible. If you're anything like me, I used to always have my emotional energy at the end of every day would be about a 3, maybe a 2 out of 10, because I wasn't taking breaks in the day for myself. I wasn't looking after myself. I wasn't connecting with people and a whole bunch of things. My third space activity now to try to get myself back to an 8 out of 10. I've left work about a 6 out of 10. I did have a break in the day, which you've seen already, and that was to bring myself back up. And I did go from a 4 out of 10 to an 8 out of 10 to try to maintain a higher level of emotional energy throughout my working day so that I have more for me. So I'm at a 6 out of 10 now, and in my car, I just lay my seat back. I'm obviously not driving. I'm parked because I literally only live around the corner from work. Yes, you probably want to shoot me because I don't have a long drive, thankfully, but I planned that because I couldn't handle that. So I'm just going to have a lie down in my car, put my chair back, do my third space activity, and usually it takes me a good 15 minutes to feel my emotions and process them and then feel any better. So I'm going to do that now. That will usually take me 15 minutes. I'm just going to do it until I feel better, which hopefully is an 8 out of 10. I'll let you know how that goes. I'm about an 8 out of 10. I took about 15 minutes, lied down, got frustrated by a whole bunch of things in my head, but I guess process my emotions, which is in fact stuff that we don't usually do. So that's an after work thing that I do recommend. It's not something I invented. That's something I got out of Flourish, to have this third space activity, and that has really helped. And unfortunately I don't always do it, but I'm having to commit to this 8 or more. After you do your third space activity, I've got this whole little set of questions that you ask yourself, but basically, how do you feel now? And if you're a 5 or under, there's a bunch of questions and things that you do for yourself in order to preserve your energy. And if you're a 5 or more, what are the things you're going to do to work on the areas of your life that need some love and attention, and or your passion and purposes, basically. And I've got 2. One is kind of all this stuff, and another one is sculpting. So I'm going to go home, and it's something I've been putting off because I've been frightened of the next job. So I'm going to go home, have a cuppa, and at least devote 20 minutes to starting my next sculpture. So I'm in my sculpting shed, and I'm about to sculpt Darth Vader, which is what I'm doing next. Long story, but this leads me to my point, is you might be a professional, but it doesn't have to be your whole identity. And so you can actually explore the other areas of your interest, which really helps your well-being. And my question is, what aren't you exploring about your own interests and you're too busy supposedly for? So that's why I'm in my sculpting shed and showing you that that's what I am doing. I don't know if you can see that, but I actually best turn this. So this will end up being Darth Vader. This is the skeleton. Anyway, so is, what is it that you could actually be adding into your world that you are neglecting about yourself in order to help your well-being? Will you commit to 8 or more? So these are the key points from this session. So 1, will you commit to 8 or more and try to bring up your emotional well-being scores every day? That's the first one. Will you commit? Number 2 is, what mini breaks can you have in the day in order to bring your well-being levels up? So what mini breaks? And quite frankly, that's a trial and error thing. You're going to have to see what works for you. So what mini breaks can raise your emotional energy? So that's number 2. What mini breaks through trial and error can you start to incorporate into your days in order to bring up those emotional energy levels? Number 3, what kind of third space activity could you incorporate? That means after work, to pay attention to your body and figure out what are your emotional energy levels, do some emotional processing, give yourself some downtime. And how can you do that? You might come home and have a shower straight away. You might, on the drive home, you have a nice relaxing time listening to some podcast. You might do something completely different. You might be sitting on the train and you just close your eyes. It's totally up to you. So number 3, what third space activity can you do in order to bring your emotional energy levels up before you get home or before you engage with your family when you finally are home, or friends, or the people that you live with? And number 4 is, what are your other interests that you might be ignoring and just aren't getting around to? And what small little things can you do towards those interests? Teeny tiny, doesn't matter if it's 5 minutes. So what small time can you devote to your interests? Yes, those are the ones that you've been neglecting. So these are the points for this session. I know that I haven't put them all up digitally and everything. I am a teacher after all. So these are your points. Good luck. I hope you can commit to 8 or more. And if you think that that's a good idea, not only for you, but for other colleagues or other people that you know, we'll send this to them. See if they'll commit to 8 or more. This is our mission. Let's look after our well-being and stop being so emotionally spent every day.